Hello and welcome to Ruckosaurus Rex, the channel where we review and discuss all things dinosaur and other prehistoric animals. How you guys feel out there? I know you're looking and you're saying, what's this? This isn't how we usually start off, and you would be correct. Normally we lead with the packaging of whatever we're going to review that day, and we're not doing it this time. That's because your boy made a critical error. I got my model here off of AliExpress, and some of their sellers give you options. You could either get your model with or without a box. And I'm a box lover, so I always tick with box. Costs a couple dollars more, but I'm cool. It's easier to store, less possibility of damaging your model, and there are those benefits. Of course, the cons are they take up more room when they have boxes. So you have to weigh the odds, good and the bad. I always opt for the box, and I accidentally ticked no box, and this is what we get. So what you have before you is Dapeng, the Yangchuanosaurus magnus from PNSO. I know we just got through reviewing Yangchuanosaurus not that long ago, but that was the species known as Yangchuanosaurus, and it's a smaller species than Magnus. The species we previously reviewed grew to about 26 feet long, whereas this guy right here topped out at a blazing 35, 36 feet. So definitely larger. And this model itself is about a foot long, just a tick under a foot long. And if you do the estimates at 1/35 scale, this comes right there at 35 feet. So which makes sense, when you talk about 12 inches and then you times by 35 and then divide by 12, you're going to get 35 again. So that's how it works out. So this is definitely right there in scale. And Yangchuanosaurus model that we reviewed a few weeks ago is also properly in scale. So when we do a comparison later, you will see the difference between both species. Strangely enough, they were both found in the same formation and about the same time period. So that's crazy. And that time period was late Jurassic, way late Jurassic, because Yangchuanosaurus actually bled over into the early Cretaceous. So we rarely hear about dinosaurs that do that, that we know existed in both time periods, at the tail end of one and the beginning of another. And we do have that here with our Magnus. And I think that's a very poignant point of interest that should be told. As the name suggests, existed in China. I'm not even going to try to butcher the names of the provinces that they were found in. It is a Chinese dinosaur, and it existed with several known Chinese dinosaurs that are both obscure and some that are well known, and we'll go through some of that a little bit later in the review as well. But right now, let's talk about what comes with our Dapeng. And just because I didn't get the box, the guys still sent all of the contents that would have come with the box. One being the stand that you get with every bipedal/theropod dino to help prevent the tip over, the warping that we will eventually get. And then, of course, we also get the booklet, which is standard information booklet that has illustrations, photos, and info on the species and whatnot. Always getting that. And then finally, you know what it is. We get the poster. And in this case, the poster is, let me open it up a little bit here so we can at least catch some. Now flap it down. Yep, this is model photography. So they just use the model and they put a backdrop on it. And kind of like what you see me doing right here. But it's cool. I prefer when it's genuine, bona fide artwork. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Anyway, let's now that we've taken care of that, let's get Dapeng off of the base that he's on and take a closer look, shall we? So here's a better look at Dapeng, the Yangchuanosaurus magnus, and you can see the 360-degree visual, and we'll just get the elephant out of the room immediately, and that is, of course, the brown motif again. That is PNSO's MO when it comes to their theropods, especially some kind of shade of brown. You've all heard me, state before that I'm cool with it, but even I have to admit, it's getting to be a lot. You know what I'm saying? And we could try experimenting with some like greens. That's still kind of like a natural color, especially for reptiles. Some darker like charcoal blacks or grays. Look at the Komodo dragons. Look what color they are. So we could get down with other colors. If I recall, the Mungo, the Meraxes, that color scheme was banging. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was fawning all over that one. So, but PNSO is, they are just, they're going to fall back into type, and that's, going with the browns. And you see what it looks like. We'll take an even closer look when we get them off the rotating base. And here we are taking a very nice look at this beautiful, beautiful head sculpt on our Yangchuanosaurus magnus. And when you look at the shape of the skull, you can clearly see that it belongs to the Metriacanthosaurus family. Just from the shape of the head, we'll do a comparison with another Metriacanthosaurid a little bit later. But yeah, you could see right there, very nice. Look at these. We'll start with that eye. It is yellow, painted with a black pupil, and you see, of course, you got the browns. We'll just go there with that. I'll back it up some so you could see as I give you the front view like we like to do. And you see we've got the nice nasal passageways built in right there, sculpted in. Very nice, very realistic. You see the crests. It's got they're brown, like a very almost orangey kind of brown for the crests. And when you're going down the ridge there, you could see it darkens. And we've got the scales there on the snout, which PNSO is very good for including that. And you see the lighter color there at the bottom of the jaw and the throat. So very, very nice. The jaw, as always, is articulated. Mine's is kind of tight, which is cool because you don't want it to be loose. That's for sure. But the jaw is articulated, and we get that wet look. Very nice. Got the gums, the connecting tissue. The teeth look great, and we've got lips. We can't let that go unspoken. Looking in the mouth, you see all that nice detail. Then nostrils have been sculpted in for the realism of it, which is just crazy because unless you turn it up to see it, it's, it technically isn't necessary, but that's what you call attention to detail. Then I'll close the mouth again as we continue looking at our Yangchuanosaurus. You see the browns. I'm going to start with the top there. First of all, let's get, you see the nice spines Very, very nice individual, and it runs all the way down to the end of the tail. But I wanted to say that because I wanted to tip this up top so we get the bird's eye view, and you see the dark chocolate will go with it. It looks like chocolate was just poured on the back, the way it's poured and spilled down. It looks very nice, and at first glance, they kind of look like they're identical, but there are different variants there too, so that they're not the same. The patterns I'm talking about, very nice. You got the dark brown, and then you get this lighter brown, and then it gets even lighter as we roll down towards the underbelly, as you could see there. Four-limbed, powerful forelimbs. You see how powerful that they look right there. Three-fingered claws painted black. Very, very nice there. Get to this hind limb on the right side. We've got some stretching of the skin there, and some wrinkles at the back as this leg is pushing off. And it's got that same brown that transitions to the lighter brown and even lighter, as you can see from that calf there. And then you've got the wrinkles going back down below the ankle, turning to the front there. You see the scoots. We've got the black painted claws on the three-pronged toes, technically four, because the number one toe is a dew claw. As we look at the left side, you could see it right there. And then going back, you see some stretching skin there. I really love that attention to detail. It's just cool. And then going down the tail, nice long tail. It tapers with that striping. And then the very end of the tail is like it's dipped in that dark chocolate. Very nice. Turn around just so we can come up on the other side. And you see we've got more of the same. It just looks very nice. This is a very nice looking model, even though it is, in that brown. It does make me wonder what it would look like if it was some kind of, some type of green. Probably would look very, very nice. Turning underside, checking for cloaca. We do have one, very small one. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's right there. Yeah, you can see it because I can even see it in the viewfinder. So it's cool. And coming down to the other side, everything's looking real nice. Take a look at that underside there, so you can see the wrinkles in that neck and the throat area. Very, very nice. There's a wash going on right there. This is a very nice model. It's still curious how we ended up getting two Yangchuanosaurus. Not necessarily back to back, but they're very close in their numbering. And speaking of, this is number 76 in the line. And I think the first one was 75 or 74 or something like that. Very close in numbering. So it is curious, but they are two different species technically. So, I ain't mad at them. Now for some comparisons, and for those of you that didn't know, our Dapeng Yangchuanosaurus magnus is actually the third Yangchuanosaurus that has been served up by PNSO. On our right side, we're looking at the very first one. This was part of it was part of the museum line. Let's get that out the way. It was a museum line model, and it was actually part of a diorama. In fact, it's on the base that came along with this Yangchuanosaurus, and it was also accompanied by Yangchuanosaurus, and it was, like I said, it was a diorama. It was great. And it was in 1/35 scale. I can't tell you right off of memory, but I'm quite sure that the one on our right, Yang, is supposed to represent a magnus. Just going by the size of it, it's almost as long as our newer 2023 model, and I do know that Yangchuanosaurus that it's matched up with is also 135, and it's accurate when you do your estimations on what size it would be representing. So I do believe that this species of Yangchuanosaurus is the magnus species for the museum line that we got first. And then, of course, you all know we got the Yangchuanosaurus version a few, not that very long ago. The smaller, I said version, I should say species. It's a smaller species coming in at about 26 feet. And that model, I believe, was just under 9 inches, if I'm going to be technical and accurate, 8.8 inches. And that comes out to about 25 and some change in terms of the representation of the size of the animal that it emulates. This guy right here, our new jack, is about a foot long nearly, and it comes in at, when you do your estimates, 35 and some change. So very, very accurate, and that's why I believe that our museum line on our right is supposed to be representative of the magnus. And here's Yangchuanosaurus itself, whom we reviewed not that long ago. And you can, just looking at them head on like this, you can clearly see the size difference. Magnus, same species, but, and yeah, about 9 to 10 feet longer than Yangchuanosaurus, but it isn't just the length that that stands out. I mean, just the overall presence. This was a big boy. They estimated it to have weighed about 3.5 tons. So it was definitely a solid predator. Definitely top dog in its ecosystem. And now for one more theropod comparison, we have a fellow Metriacanthosaurid. This is Sinraptor. And now for some possible prey animals that our Yangchuanosaurus magnus shared its environment with. We'll, of course, start off with the species of stegosaur that shared the dio with the original Yangchuanosaurus, and that would be Chungkingosaurus. And now we'll just simply switch out stegosaurs. We've got the Tujangosaurus right here, and this is the Chinese version of Allosaurus versus Stegosaurus. Finally, another species that share the environment with our Yangchuanosaurus would be Mamenchisaurus. This model is representative of the Yangchuanensis species, and that's because you can't see it on panel, but it has a small club at the end of its tail. There are, at least by my recollection, 6 different species of Mamenchisaurus, and this species, Yangchuanensis, is the only one that they found with the little club at the end of the tail. There have been a couple species where they've gotten very nicely preserved skulls, so we have a very good idea what Mamenchisaurs look like, which is saying something, because as large as sauropods are, you know, they're not known for having big heads, and most of the time when their skeletons, their fossils are recovered, they're sans a head. Their heads just, they go. You know what I'm saying? We found many headless sauropods out of the numerous species that have been discovered. This particular species is supposed to be about 69 feet long in real life. This scale, it's a PNSO model, but it's like a 145 scale, I think, something like that. So it's definitely undersized when matched up against the 135 scale model. That's why I've got them in the stance that I do. I'm trying to simulate a Mamenchisaurus in the distance, and the Yangchuanosaur is like scoping it out. So, you know, trying to use some trickery there. And you know, we can't close out without our boy Ian Malcolm being heard from. So here you have a 135 scale human being up against a 135 scale Yangchuanosaurus magnus. So you can clearly see how large this guy was compared to a human being. And as I give my closing thoughts, I figured I'd leave you guys with a little scene here of our Yangchuanosaurus magnus chasing away a Yangchuanosaurus off of his own base. That's what this is supposed to be like. But yes, this PNSO Dapeng the Yangchuanosaurus magnus, very nice figure indeed, accurate in its scale and accuracy as well. It is we've got lips, so you know that's a good thing. The detail is right up there from the quality we've come to expect from PNSO. We wouldn't expect less. I guess another thing we wouldn't expect anything different would be the paint schemes. So even though we do hope, still rocking the brown motifs, different shades of brown. They're going to go through every brown in the color spectrum, I guess, before they're all said and done. Anyhow, very nice figure, model. And yeah, it's just, it looks very good. It looks very good next to all of the species that it lived with. If you feel like displaying them that way, if you have decided to acquire one of your own, if you haven't done so already, it looks good next to the smaller species as well. So that's pretty nice. And any kind of way you'd like to display it. Anyway, it's a very nice model. I'm glad I've got this. I'm not so glad that I messed up and didn't get the box. My OCD is going to get to me. I know it is. I'm going to try to ramp it down, guys. But not having that box is going to get on my nerves. So, you know, especially since that's 2 in a row. The Dilophosaur review, if you recall, I didn't get the box, but I did that intentionally. What I messed up there was the colors of the Dilophosaurs that I wanted. So I got to get it together, guys. But I got you having my back, so we'll ride that train together. Anyway, the other train I need you guys to ride is to comment below. What do you think about Yangchuanosaurus magnus? Dapeng is his name, and chasing off Yangchuanosaurus appears to be his game. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't done so. Share it also so others can we can, you know, rinse repeat. And hit that notification bell if you want to be informed when I upload another video. Got a few things coming down. PNSO's got we've got a couple of non-theropods coming. We've got an ankylosaur coming, and we've got a sauropod of their very own coming. So you guys probably already know what I'm talking about. So I won't even go any further into that. What I will do is tell you guys thank you, and until we meet again, take care.